Grace and peace.
Grace and peace. So,
My name is Susan Peters.
and I'm Brother Rudolph Peters.
Welcome once again on our topic we are discussing. We are doing a series of studies on the doctrine of the Trinity, correcting it because it is a wrong doctrine. It gives a wrong idea of who Jesus is. So we are correcting this doctrine of the Trinity, and you can follow us on our studies and you will learn a lot. You can also, your comments or questions will be welcome so that we can have a dialogue. So may God bless you all. Let us have a word of prayer.
Amen. Loving Father in heaven, we thank you very much for your love towards us. We do ask for your guidance as we are about to make this presentation. Be with us with your Holy Spirit, and may the listeners be benefited and blessed from what we are about to say. Is our prayer in thanksgiving unto thee. Amen.
Amen. Now, those of you who are following our studies, right, would know of our situation. Those of you who are not and you are now viewing this for the first time, we have been this fellowship from the church, Tuesday Seventh-day Adventist Church, because of a revelation that was given to me by God. And I can safely say that the church has rejected the message, because when we had the issues, there were things to be corrected, yes, I am not denying that. But the fact is, why it is that after the correction was made and my study was given to the eldership, the members of that church who are elders, why was it rejected? And it is nothing is wrong with the study that I presented, with the 30-page study that I was not allowed. And when I say I presented it to the elders I'm speaking about. And I was not allowed to present it to the church. Even at a point of time when I went up and I tried to show that there were certain mistakes made and I was willing to correct it, right? It was not accepted. And when I say mistakes, because of the fact that I trusted our elder, Brother Nyron, and went to him, and he did not study it, just as myself, and gave a wrong interpretation to it. But you know, what I have to say is that God allowed all that to test the brother, to see that if he make a mistake, if he will owe up. So much for that, because he has not owed up about it. We are no longer members, but I am continuing my Bible studies, my preaching sessions, and I am making tracts. A lot of tracts has been made in regards to the divinity of Jesus Christ. Because if you look at Isaiah 42:8, which is the revelation that God gave me, with the text Isaiah 42:8, you will see what we are saying. Isaiah 42:8 says, I am Yahweh. Yahweh there, you will see it is in the word Lord, but the word is really supposed to be Yahweh. When you investigate it, you will see that that is the memorial name of God, right? So Yahweh is the memorial name of God. So God is saying, I am Yahweh. That is my name. But he's also identifying his name as what? His very divine nature. That's all?
Of course.
Right. And he is saying, my glory I will not give to another. In other words, there are teachings in the Trinity that Yahweh gave his glory to form Jesus. He's a formed God. Some people say he came out from his belly, his bosom, right? That is not true. The fact is, you will see that For God to be God, he has to be God by
nature.
Amen. And Yahweh cannot say that he's not given on his divinity is non-transferable to another. So therefore, what they are doing in that doctrine of the Trinity is that they have made Jesus the another, and that is wrong. Let us look at the word give here from this from the KJV Bible Dictionary, and it says to give out, to utter publicly, to proclaim, to publish. It was given out that, right. So I'll stop there. So to give out, to utter publicly, to proclaim, to publish, to issue, to send forth, right? To publish, to show, to exhibit in false appearance, right? It also means to transfer. To give means to transfer. It says here, give, right? It is a verb transitive. All right. So there are, when I checked this, when I did this word study on give, you have a whole set of meanings to the word, right? But you can also, you have to look at the context of the word to get the meaning, right? You have to look to the context. So the word is give. I am Yahweh. That is my name, which is his glory, right? That he is saying he will not give. And the word give there is a verb transitive, meaning, right? I have a little quote here. It says, a transitive verb has to have two characteristics. First, it is an action verb expressing a doable activity. So God is saying, I will not give, and it must involve, right, two characteristics. Cannot be one, because if you're saying you're not giving, it would mean that the word have to have somebody that you're not giving to, right? So Yahweh is saying, I am Yahweh. That is my name. My glory I will not give to another. Who is the another? Jesus is not the another.
Definitely not.
The another is false gods, right? This is what it is. So we are seeing here that the word give means the sense of give is generally to pass or to transfer. That is to send or throw. So you see, this is one of the meanings of it. I first started quoting another meaning, right? Like to give a public declaration or proclaim something publicly, okay? But this one is the one that I really want to use, which is to transfer or pass something to another, right? So that is what it means there in Isaiah. God is saying, I'm not transferring. My divinity is non-transferable. Another word that we have to look at is the word, I'll just look at Psalms here, right? Psalms 7 and verse 17 to get a clearer understanding of this revelation here, right? If you look at that, you will see that God is saying that his glory, which is his praise, which is his name, he is not given. Okay? So God don't give his glory to another. He don't. Because if he does that, then he will be doing what? He will be forming gods, right? He will be forming gods. So we have some quotes also that we want to read in regards to this issue, because this issue has been a very burning issue on our minds, and we would like to really pay attention to the revelation in this study. We are going to pay attention to the revelation. So we know that in Jeremiah 25, 23, 5 and 6, right? There you will see that the name that Christ would have is what?
His nature, righteousness.
The Lord our righteousness. That is it. You understand? So think about it. God is giving a prophecy of his own self coming. You understand? In a body. Probably we could start off with that first text. It's a very nice text, and then I will go to the others that I want to quote here. Right?
Jeremiah chapter 23 and verse 5 and 6 says, Jeremiah 23 and verse 5 and 6 says, right, says, behold, the days come, said the Lord, that I will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper, and shall execute judgment and justice in the earth. In his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel shall dwell safely. And this is his name whereby he shall be called. All the words are in capital letters. The Lord our righteousness. His name is his nature. This is his name whereby he shall be called. Yahweh our righteousness. The Lord our righteousness. God's name is his nature.
Amen.
Right?
Amen.
Amen.
So we see here clearly, this is a prophecy that Yahweh is speaking about here.
Amen.
Right? He says, in his days Judah shall be saved, and Israel, which is the church, shall dwell safely. And this, right,
is his name.
Is his name, whereby he shall be called the Lord our righteousness. And in verse 5, he says, he will raise unto David a righteous branch. And it is Yahweh that is saying that, right? He will raise unto David a righteous branch, and a king shall reign and prosper. But then when he speak about this righteous branch now, he says what? His name shall be called Yahweh our righteousness. So he's speaking, he's given a prophecy that he himself is going to come on the earth. Okay? Because he said, I will raise unto David a righteous branch. And we know by this time here, Isaiah will be writing, but David will no longer be alive. Okay? But here you have a prophecy that one will come, right, after that lineage. And that is God himself will be dwelling in that body. So what we have here, there are many texts to show that name is nature in the Bible, right? There are many texts to show it, right? Look even in the book of Matthew, where it says his name shall be called what? Emmanuel, meaning what?
God with us.
That is it.
Amen.
A name, showing who is with us.
Amen.
Nature of God.
Who's with us?
Amen. God. You see? So we are saying that revelation was given to correct people who are saying that Jesus is not God.
Yes.
They are saying that Jesus is a created God. He came from the bosom of the Father. That is the doctrine of the Trinity, because the Trinity teaches that Jesus proceeded and came from the Father.
It is a dangerous doctrine. It is a deadly doctrine. There's no benefit in believing that doctrine. Reason being, if you believe that God formed a God, an auxiliary God, a helper God to save man, it defeats the purpose that God is the Savior. All the glory will be transferred to the God that he make.
That is it.
Which would be Jesus. So it does not make sense right? The helper, right, will get more glory than the maker, because that is how the Bible portrays Christ. Christ is getting all the glory. The Father is in the back, right? So because Jesus himself said, the scripture testify of me, right? Now God is glory, right? And he deserves the glory. And he also say, right, thou shalt have no other gods before me. So look, God forming a God to get honor instead of him. It don't make sense.
Don't make sense.
Right?
Right.
So that is why the idea of a delegated or associate God or a transferred God, right, or auxiliary God, a helper God, does not make sense.
No.
Right? Because God, who God is, cannot be transferred to form a God.
That is it.
Divinity cannot be transferred to make a creation divine. Impossible.
Exactly. Creation will always be creation.
Always.
God will always be God alone.
Amen.
Right? So I have here that what God is saying, he is saying, my divinity is non-transferable when coming to form God. Because you know why? Jesus is not a transferred God.
Definitely not.
So my praise, my glory, I will not give to another.
True.
So it says here in Psalm 7 and verse 17, right? It says here, okay, before I take the Psalms, I'll take Psalms 148 and 13. It says, let them praise the name of the Lord, or the name of Yahweh, for his name alone is excellent. His glory is above the earth and heaven. Yahweh's glory is Yahweh's nature. We have Exodus 24 and verse 16 says, and the glory of the Lord Yahweh abode upon Mount Sinai, and the cloud covered it 6 days. Verse 17. And the sight of the glory of the Lord was like a devouring fire. Then we have 1 Chronicles 16:35 that says, and say, save us, O God of our salvation, and gather us together, and deliver us from the heathen, that we may give thanks to thy holy name, and what? Glory in thy praise. Right? So there are many other texts in regards to showing that the glory of God is God himself. The name of God is God himself, his nature. Okay? His praise is his glory, which is his nature. And that is what he's saying. I am not going to give my nature to another. So we will just look at the word another after my husband speaking.
Right, because what happened now is that the name of God is more than just a phonetic sound.
Amen.
Right? Because there are those who go off on the sound Yahweh, and they emphasize the proper pronunciation of the word Yahweh, but is ignorant of who God is by nature. You see, and this is how people miss the point, right? The nature of God is what God wants us to know about himself, right? Who God is, because is God want to dwell in us. His original intention was to dwell in us, and God have never changed from his purpose. The Bible said this, right? What? Know ye not that your body is the temple of God, which ye have of God, and ye are not your own? So your body this body, God's original intention was to dwell in there, the mind, the temple.
Amen.
God's spirit was to give us an experience of his love. That is the purpose of this body, for God to dwell.
Amen.
The divine nature, God himself, intended when he created man to dwell in our thoughts.
Amen. Right.
You understand?
Very
So,
good.
right? And that indwelling was never intended to make us creation divine,
That is.
but to cause us to give him glory. You understand? So the idea of, right, why we say to form a God, not to form a God, is because of Lucifer's intention, Lucifer's rebellion, right, in claiming as a creation divinity.
Yes.
Claiming to be like the Most High, same as.
Yes.
He himself, Lucifer, said he will be what? Like his will, same as God. Like, same as God, divine. Creation cannot be divine.
No, at all.
Right?
No creation could be divine.
Creation is creation.
Is
creation.
Amen.
Right?
So let us look at the word, right? When God says, I am Yahweh. That is my name. And my glory I will not give to another. The word another is equivalent to other. When you look at the Hebrew, it is Acher, A-C-H-E-R, right? And it means other or strange, as in the commandments. Exodus 20 and verse 3, right? You will see it says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. You see that word other there? It's the same word for another. You understand? So God is saying we should have no other gods before him, right? It also says in verse Exodus 23 and verse 13, make no mention of the name of other gods, neither let it be heard out of thy mouth. Right? So you have these texts, and there are many more. You can check it for yourself if you are interested. You will see that another is really what? Other gods. So in Isaiah, what do you have? You have another, meaning other gods, like creation gods, and then God say, and graven images. So it is 2 commandments there in the book of Exodus 20 that God is highlighting in the book of Isaiah, right? You can read it and you can emphasize it.
Right. No. Right.
Exodus 20.
Okay, it says here, right, verse 3, it says, thou shalt have no other gods before me. Right?
That is like live things, like creation gods, like Lucifer, like the Pope. You understand?
Yes.
Hindu gods. Don't have no other gods before me. You understand? And then God say what? Thou shalt not make unto thee what? Any what? Graven images. You see? So it is 2 commandments there that is put in Isaiah to highlight that other gods, right? He is not giving his glory to any other God. And another God is really not God. It's just a creation.
Yes. Right? Now, the Bible speaks of, for example, the Bible gives us the account of Nimrod. Right? You see, when the Bible speaks of other gods as pertain to creation, right? You're dealing with rivals. You're dealing with creation as rivals to God, right? In the sense of, right, the Bible speaks of for rebellion is as divination.
Yes.
You understand? Rebellion is as divination. And this man, Nimrod, right, according to Genesis chapter 10, right, verse 8, had this to say, right? And Cush begat Nimrod. He began to be a mighty one in the earth. He was a mighty hunter before the Lord. Wherefore it is said, even as Nimrod, the mighty hunter before the Lord. Nimrod, right, was preferred before God, and God said, thou shalt have no other God before me. So Nimrod was preferred before God. He exalted himself. He in his behavior, he became will and conscience for the people. He was a tyrant.
Exactly.
He was a tyrant and was very wicked. He married his mother, right? And was very immoral and debased, right? And made an affront to God. And by in his contempt of God, influenced the then known civilization to go against God.
True.
So what we are saying is that, right? Hence, therefore, he was a typical example of what the another means.
Exactly.
You understand? The another, right, is to claim, right, as a creation, divinity. Claim, right, godhood. Ascribe divinity to yourself. To become will and conscience for all others.
Amen. And I want to say this because when Christ made his divinity claims in the Bible, you will see that he could make those claims because he is who? Yahweh God.
Amen.
As we showed in Jeremiah there just now, God himself is prophesying and saying that what? This one who will be coming, according to the branch of David, right? This one who is coming is going to be, his name is going to be what? Yahweh our righteousness. There's also Isaiah chapter 9, where this son that is going to be born is to be called what?
The everlasting Father.
Exactly.
The son to be born is who? You see? The everlasting Father.
Exactly. Right? So, and there are many other texts that we will be going into to show you.
Yes.
Right? So we will end our study here. We will continue at another point where we will be explaining even much more because I have so much more to share with you. So may God bless you, and do please follow us, because this message of who Jesus is going to swell into a loud cry.
Amen.
The world don't know who Jesus is.
Everybody ought to know.
Everybody ought
who
to
Jesus
know.
is.
This is going to bring back Jesus upon the face of the earth. You want to know what message will bring him back? This message will bring him back. You know why? Jesus is coming back. But if the world don't know who he is, how could he come back? He have to give a message of himself to the world. Amen. And correct that false doctrine of the Trinity, so people will know who Jesus is.
A long established heresy on the earth.
Amen.
It must be exposed and stripped for what it is, because it robs God of his glory.
Amen.
And God said, my glory will I not give to another.
So may
that doctrine does not bring no honor to God.
Amen. So may God bless you all and follow us in our other study.
Amen.
Amen.
Amen.